If you are a business owner and you feel like you are running in place, you're doing so much stuff, but it's not moving the needle in your business, I've got something for you. My name's Ryan Weber, and I have owned 4 businesses. 2 I've sold, 2 I currently own, and I've helped hundreds of other business owners grow their business, build their brand, and ultimately make some more money, which is what you probably want to as a business owner. So today I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I used to do and stopped doing, and it helped me grow my business. Jumping right in, number 1, listening to the radio in the car. I do not listen to the radio in the car, and it started with, I just turned it off, and I think it was because in my business, when I owned my gym, the radio was on all day, people were talking all day, and it was just overstimulating. So when I started driving home, I didn't listen to the radio because I wanted silence. However, I realized every single day when I'm driving 15 minutes to the office, 15 minutes back home, that's 30 minutes a day where I could be improving myself. And so instead of listening to the radio, I started listening to things that are going to improve me. First, it started with audiobooks. Why? I don't have time to read. I'm a slow reader. It's not that I don't know how to read. I'm just slow. And it takes me a really long time to get through a book, but I want to absorb the information. And I absorbed the information very well listening to it. So instead of listening in silence to nothing in my car as I was driving, I started listening to audiobooks to help me improve. First audiobook I ever listened to, The E-Myth. Highly recommend the book too. Probably 3 or 4 years ago, I got through all my books and was like, okay, well, what do I do now? I got into listening to podcasts, and that's kind of where my love of this video and podcasting thing came about. And I don't listen to like the entertainment podcast or the story-based podcast. I listen to podcasts that help entrepreneurs or business owners, or really just like improving yourself. That's the kind of podcast I listen to, because while I'm driving, I want to always make sure that I'm absorbing things that are going to help me. Every now and then I'll hear something, I'll pull my phone out, I'll talk into it and just make a note of like the one line or one sentence that I want to remember, or I'll put like the timestamp in my phone if it's something that I need to go back and I want to take notes on. You spend a lot of time in your car or walking to your office or work or wherever you go. Instead of listening to music, start listening to something that can help you improve as a person. Music entertains you, but podcasts and audiobooks grow you. Every chore, every drive, that can improve you as a person. Number 2, I stopped focusing on competition. At first, when I was in business, I always looked at the other person and tried to see what they were doing. And I got really nervous if they were doing something that might hurt or harm my business. Maybe they ran an ad campaign. I got really jealous because I was like, man, that's a really good campaign. They're going to take some of my customers. Or I would look at their business and say, man, how come they're doing so much more than me? I just don't know how I can do what those people are doing. It's impossible. And I would just always struggle with that kind of imposter syndrome of saying, I just want to be like my competition. And I stopped doing that. I stopped even paying attention to my competition. I don't even know who my competition is in my current business locally. And the reason is, if I spend all of my time thinking about their business and how good they are, how can I improve my own? Obsessing over your competition is like staring at their lane in a race. You're focused on them, you're going to trip over yourself, and ultimately they're going to get so much further ahead because you're not focused on yourself. Number 3, taking writing for granted. I was a terrible writer, and I hated writing, and I had tons of grammatical errors, and this might be why I took it for granted. I didn't enjoy the process of the written word. However, communication is done through the written word, just audio if you're going to be talking, but the written word is so powerful. I think in today's day and age, especially with all the digital stuff that's happening, people have stopped focusing on the written word and how well they can communicate clearly and concisely to people. The better you write, the better you talk. People ask me, well, how do you speak on camera? You do that without a script? Yes, because I've practiced writing a lot, and I wasn't good at first. And there was one thing that made me realize this, and it was the 9-word email written by, I believe it was Dean Jackson. And that email essentially said, I'm going to butcher it, but this is just off my memory. This is when I had my gym too. I sent this email out to my entire list. Are you still interested in getting fit in... At this point, it was like 2016. So are you still interested in getting fit in 2016? So you're asking them in a plain text email, are you still interested in the thing they desire in the current year? And I sent it in like October. And I got over 60 responses to a plain text email to my entire email list of people saying yes or no, I've joined a different gym, but it started conversations. And that email generated me $50,000 for the rest of the year. From there on out, I said, you know what? I'm going to figure out how these emails and writing work because that worked really well. And so then I started just writing stories, started telling stories of people that were in the gym. And that storytelling started resulting in more and more clients in business. So how did I figure out these 3 things to stop? I self-audited. I said, how can I improve myself as a person? When I'm feeling like it's impossible for me to be a better business owner, it's impossible for me to grow the business, I can't get all of this done, I start self-reflecting and saying, what are the things that I'm currently doing that either are not helping me move to the next level or are slowing me down? These were 3 of the things that I said, if I stop doing this, I will gain the thing that I desire. So self-audit yourself, figure out what it is that you're currently doing, stop doing it and add in something else, or just stop doing it and see what happens. Addition by subtraction, that's not a bad thing either. Questions, let us know, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys next time.